The release date of Rivals 2 was just announced, and it's coming a lot sooner than most people thought. The whole world will be able to get their hands on it on October 23rd. That's just 1 month away. But that wasn't the only surprise dropped in this new trailer. We also got our first look at a character returning from Rivals 1. Forsburn looks like an evil hyena with some smoke and bone knives. He's definitely the most menacing character we've seen added to the game. I'm really looking forward to trying him out.
During August and September, I was able to play the game again for the beta testing weekends. And now that I've had the chance to get a better grasp of the game as a whole, I'm more excited for its release than ever before. And in this video, I'm going to go over all the reasons you should be too if you're a Smash fan. With Forsburn on the way, that will put Rivals 2 up to 10 characters at launch. But from what the developers have said, we know that a lot more are coming soon. They've promised that every non-guest character from Rivals 1 will be making a return. If we take a look at the Rivals 1 selection screen, we can see that that's 16 characters. And since we already have Fleet and Loxodon added to the game as new characters, that'll put the total up to 18. But we already know about one other brand new character coming to the game. The workshop winner is an ant wrestler named Reina. A fan came up with her design, and she's the first true grappler being added to the game. It's so cool that the developers are willing to include the community to this degree in the creative process. And from what I've heard, they want to add even more characters to the game if the player base is still going strong. And the most amazing part about all of this is they said that all future characters will be added to the game for free, with monetization only coming from skins and other cosmetics. This is a really respectable decision, and we won't have to worry about any pay-to-win aspects being added to the game. Now I want to talk about gameplay and my experience with it in the betas. I cannot overstate how polished and well realized this game feels. The movement is fluid, and it places a strong emphasis on fast-paced combos and unique character mechanics. Smash players will feel right at home with the attack, shield, grab triangle in this game, plus other familiar mechanics like teching, out of shield options, and even movement mechanics like wave dashing. But that's not to say that Rivals 2 isn't bringing any new mechanics to the table. They have a unique pairing mechanic that's completely separate from shielding. It functions a lot more like counters in Smash Ultimate. It can only be performed while you're grounded, but if an opponent hits you shortly after you parry, they'll be put into a stunned state where you can hit them with a smash attack or a combo starter. I found this really effective for punishing people who always spam their strongest ledge get-up attack. And speaking of get-up attacks, something else that Rivals 2 has that Smash doesn't is a special get-up option both from the ledge and from the ground. Every character has unique ones, and these are separate from their regular get-up attacks. Grabs have these as well, with both a regular pummel and a special pummel for every character. This gives the game a lot more depth, with characters having more options than your average character in Smash. But it's still a simple enough system that it never becomes confusing for the player. Now, if you're cautious about getting hyped for a new platform fighter game, I don't blame you. I was definitely one of those people who got swallowed up in the excitement for the first Nickelodeon All-Stars game, only for it to feel very half-baked and unpolished on release. Of course, they did do a much better job with the second one, but it still had some fundamental game balance issues. And if you were a Multiverses fan, you know disappointment unlike anyone else. They took the fast-paced, exciting gameplay of the beta and made it way slower to appeal to casuals. Not to mention all the shady monetization aspects they added due to the free-to-play nature of the game. Hopefully your faith in platform fighters hasn't been completely destroyed, because Rivals 2 is a great one. And while its roster size can't hold a candle to Ultimate, its balance and competitive gameplay truly make it shine. In my last Rivals 2 video, I talked about how Maypul became my favorite character in the game. She has received some minor nerfs since my last video, but I think those are well deserved considering how broken she felt. In fact, I think they've been making some great changes to the cast all around. I rated Loxodon as one of the worst characters in the game in my last video, but he's received some significant buffs to his frame data since then, and as a result, I was fighting against a lot of Loxodon players online, and some of them were pulling off some pretty incredible things. During these betas, I've still been playing Maypul the most, but Zetterburn has become a strong secondary for me. His speed might only be average, but a lot of his attacks hit just as hard as a heavy character. He has a unique fire mechanic, where he can create a stage hazard with down B. Any character who touches it will become burned, and it deals damage over time. Plus a few other of Zetterburn's moves can inflict burn on their own. Then if you hit an opponent with a smash attack while they're burned, you'll deal a much more powerful critical blow. A lot of people have described Zetterburn as a mix between Fox and Wolf. While his aerials and smash attacks are a lot like Wolf, his up B and neutral B function a lot more like melee Fox. His neutral B essentially acts like Shine from melee, and you can even wave dash out of it. Up throw and up tilt are great combo starters for him. And neutral air is a multi-hit attack that's really effective against big body characters. I enjoy playing him because he can lay on some incredible pressure on opponents. And he has a strong edge guarding game. Between his forward air and down air, he can lay down a wall of pain. And while he's definitely more tricky to play than Maypul, that only makes his skill ceiling and room for improvement that much higher. I think the main reason I have faith in this game, other than getting to play it myself, is that after every beta, the developers have been taking player feedback. And while it's impossible to please everyone, I think they've been making some great changes. And I haven't even mentioned the best part about Rivals 2. There's no Steve, no Min, no Kazuya. You can just match up into people online with peace of mind, knowing you're not going to have to deal with any BS matchups. I am joking a little bit. I actually did like a lot of the DLC characters in Ultimate, like Joker, Byleth, even Pirate and Mithra. But I think one of the main problems with Smash Ultimate, and its enormous roster size, is that some characters are pushed to the extreme. They have extreme strengths but also extreme weaknesses. And this can create very polarizing gameplay. For example, Little Mac is the strongest character in the game on the ground, but as soon as you get him into the air or he has to recover, he's helpless. Another example is Min. She has the longest range in the game and can cover basically the entire stage with her attacks. But against characters that are ultra fast or have strong projectile games, she can easily be shut down. Thankfully, Rivals 2 doesn't really have this problem. The characters are pretty well rounded and never pushed to a certain extreme. They all have different strengths and weaknesses like you'd expect from any platform fighter, but none of the matchups feel unwinnable by any means. Another way that the game has a leg up on Ultimate is in the online experience. It has rollback netcode, so you rarely experience lag. And they actually have separate options for 1v1s, doubles, and free-for-alls. So you don't have to worry about being matched into somebody with a troll rule set. The only complaint that I have is that currently there's no penalty for disconnecting from a game early. This isn't a problem the majority of the time, but every once in a while you'll be matched into someone that will quit out on the first stock, just because they didn't start the match very well. I understand that sometimes things happen and you have to quit out of a match early, but if someone's doing this 3 or 4 times in an hour, there needs to be some kind of timeout penalty. But yeah, in conclusion, I've had a ton of fun with Rivals 2 so far, especially in that final beta, because I finally have an idea of what I'm doing now. And I encourage you, even if you've become jaded from platform fighters that have burned you in the past, to actually give this one a shot, because it's worth it. And from everything I've seen from the developers, the game's only going to get better over time. I'm excited for Rivals 2, and you should be as well. I'm planning to make some actual character tutorials when the game releases, so make sure you hit the subscribe button if you don't want to miss out. And if this video got you hyped for Rivals 2, leaving a like would help me out a lot. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.